Big Buck Registry's Big Buck Podcast, episode number 36. Blitz TV with special guest Richie Elam and Trent Cole. Big Buck Registry is a virtual museum of hunting stories. We preserve a piece of Americana by interviewing and recording hunters about their hunts and experiences from across the country. And who knows, maybe we'll learn a thing or two along the way that'll help us take our hunt to the next level.
Hey Big Buck fans, this is Matt Hiatt from Bust a Buck Deer Lures and the hunter behind Big Frank. You're listening to my favorite hunting podcast on iTunes, Big Buck Registry's Big Buck Podcast.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Jay Scott, your host of the Big Buck Registry's Big Buck Podcast. I'm here with my co-host from Ohio, Dusty Phillips. Dusty, what's going on, man?
Yo, you know what? We're having a great time at the Great American Outdoor Show here in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And, Jay, we got absolute phenomenal special guest sitting right here with us.
Absolutely. Trent Cole from Blitz TV and Richie Elam, right?
That's correct.
All right, man. What's going on, guys?
Oh, not much, man. Just out here enjoying the show that they have in here in Harrisburg. The NRA is putting on a great show here, the Great American Outdoor Show, and we got a booth out here, and just seeing all the people and just enjoying it. After having a big season and with the Philadelphia Eagles, and Sally ended shortly with the Saints, but now I'm out here and enjoying my other passion. It's just the outdoors and enjoying it with other people and friends and stuff that's enjoying it with me out here at these shows to get the season started off for a new hunting season.
Awesome. Trent, I was pulling for you because your coach is from New Hampshire, and I'm from New Hampshire too. And I'm a UNH grad where he coached formerly.
I didn't think they knew football in New Hampshire.
We've never been recognized for much, I'll give you that. In fact, it's kind of funny. I never played organized football. We never really had it. It wasn't really available. Then my nephew played for a high school team, and he went all state, and he was a center.
Really?
I could have been somebody, but then I started looking up the stats. We've had basically no NFL players since the inception of the NFL.
That's why I had that kind of response. That was the second question to have for you. I was like, do you know anybody who's came out needing current players? But
nobody.
Yeah, but there's always somebody come out. It's like they might be undercover with it, but it just every state produces, and this is the way it goes. Yeah, that's just the way it is. Just like you got Ohio. They kind of breed out football players, and you got like Hampshire,
right?
Everybody loves baseball, and and everybody's striving to be the best baseball player they can be and make it to the big leagues. So it's it depends on what geographic area you live in.
Yeah. It's different all across the country, but I like living where I live, but I like getting out and meeting people, and that's why we're here at the shows to meet guys like you guys and learn a little bit more about your story.
That's enough about the football. Let's talk some deer hunting, guys.
All right. We went off on a little tangent. We need to learn a little bit more about you guys too. But yeah, let's talk some deer hunting.
Let's just get a little rundown and tell where you guys are from. And I'm real blessed to be here with you because Buckeyes are a big state for big whitetail, and you having farms there, Trent, and you living there your whole life, you guys kind of know the area, and I'm going to start scouting where Trent owns and let him know what's going on. I get around that area, we're not going to talk details where that's at, but tell us a little bit about what you got to come in with your herd. What's going on with your whitetail, and tell us about some of your big bucks. Do you have any names for them? I'm all about naming big bucks.
Yeah. I just kind of start with people, what people don't know about me is I'm very big into deer management, and you got to have a partner or a group to be able to do good management with, and me and Richie and Brett Yates and Mike Moore, I have a group of guys that we can do management the right way. I think it takes a group of people to do it. That's what hunting land's for. If you got hunting land, you got to have somebody to share it with.
You got to take care of it together.
Yeah, together. And, me being in Philadelphia and in New Jersey, I have land back in Ohio where I'm from Southern Ohio, Xenia, Ohio. And, that's what I do in the off season. I go back and, I prep my farms for the season. Cause, doing television, with my schedule, I don't have time to get out all the time.
Yeah. And that's why you got a great group of guys that's with you, and Richie being local.
And that's where I come in.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
It's kind of like a football. It gets all weaved together and it holds air. And that's the same way with deer management. You got to have that weaving. Everybody working as a team effort to keep them farms just right for a TV show. Yeah, you're not going to kill giants, but that's your whole outcome, that you're looking for higher scale whitetails.
Yeah, and it, like I said, it takes a lot, and it's something that people. It's 365 days for us, just like me with football, and I treat football and hunting is just the same. It's 365 days of the year. When last day of hunting season, I'm out there looking for sheds. I'm looking for if there's snow on the ground, I'm looking for tracks, see where these deer have been moving late season, what food sources they've been on. I'm looking, I'm walking my properties and stuff, and there's a lot that goes into it, because like just with me, the way I do things is when the moment of truth, when that moment, moment of truth arises, I want to make sure that everything goes right, and I want to make sure that, I get the opportunity to get in a shot at a good deer.
Yeah, and that's a team effort.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yep.
And jumping in, I've kind of got the privilege to kind of oversee a few of his properties in Southern Ohio, and very fortunate in that regard. And, it's almost treating it like it's my own.
I'm jealous. Jay, you jealous? I'm a little jealous sitting here, guys.
Hey, I'm from New Hampshire. I'm jealous about all whitetails, pretty much. All right. So,
But back to the names. One deer in particular, excuse me, on one of our home farms, a deer named Bullwinkle. He's been one in the
Bullwinkle, good one.
Yeah, we had several encounters with this deer, and ultimately we ended up taking the deer. I think he went grossed right at 170.
Yeah.
That's a nice deer.
A gorgeous deer. But we had 3 attempts at taking this deer, and every one came up short.
Wow.
And
that's the fun of it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a Bullwinkle was a buck that me coming out of the house, working on a farm, that I would see in the back of my pond, just grazing on the berries out there.
Oh yeah.
And I would see him all the time, but I couldn't, when it came down to the season, I didn't have the time to hunt him, and that's where Richie and them guys come in and
set you up on it.
No, that's where Richie and them guys come in and they hunt him, Like I said, it's a team effort here,
Right.
When you got a piece of ground, you just, having a partner to share with, share ground with, can make your place really, it can, make your place really good, just with the help of somebody else and, having friends to share it with. And, and like I said, we're pretty strict on our management. We plant food plots and, we try to do whatever we can to make sure our herd is good. We do the right appropriate management. Like, I acquire this on the properties. If guys come on there and want to hunt, they got to take those,
Right.
We want them, we require guys to take those, it's just trying to do the right things, I look at ourselves as conservationists.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Richie, Richie can vouch for that, man, because, like I said, he's really strict on what he does around there on them farms, because he's more there than me. He's a lot more there. He's probably 80% more there in them farms than me, because I'm on the East Coast in Philly and Jersey, and
right.
I'm looking after them farms. I'm taking care of them farms because I have the time and I'm there,
right.
so.
Yeah, it takes that. That's bottom line, I'm going to ask you a quick question. Do you guys have an area called the sanctuary that you kind of stay out of?
We do. And that just goes back to the whole management standpoint, and it's a recipe, basically. You have all these different components that are building towards the ultimate goal, producing mature, healthy herd. And we have a section on the farm that, we just don't go into and won't go into it until we go to look for antlers after a season. Mm-hmm. And even then tread lightly,
All right. Yeah.
But
and it's good. Like I said, it also, what's very helpful to us is we have neighbors that work with us as well that's doing the same thing. You know, they're passing up, you know, the 2 to 3 year old deer, and you know, and if there's an opportunity for a 4.5 year old deer, you know, they'll take it, you know, or some of them pass. But it's like I said, it's great to have also the neighbors that we have.
Oh yeah, that's very important. You know, and be blessed that you have that, because not a lot of places are like that.
Mm-hmm.
Very fortunate.
Right.
yes,
You guys grew up together, right?
Yeah.
yes, we did.
What was life like growing up?
It's only
Small farm town. you know?
Small farm
It's simple.
Yep.
simple living.
And that's the way it actually still is for me.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I'm just a small town guy, you know, family based, good friends. I'm handshake and a man's word is what I
Right.
go on most of the time. So, with Trent and I just hit it off early on, started shooting, some 3D shoots and fishing.
Yep.
I showed him how to hook a bass or two there in the Great Buckeye Steak. He may disagree to that, but I have put on a clinic a time or two.
Here we go.
That's what it's about, man. You know, you got good friends to enjoy the outdoors with, man. You know, every time I come home from the season, when the season's over with, and it comes to get the springtime when the bass are starting to hit the beds, and you know, and the bass coming to the top of the water, you know, top of the ponds, and we get out there. We always come. We'll go to one of my biggest farms in Southern Ohio, and you know, we always, at some reason, we get the same thought. We look over at the pond and we just go get the poles, and it just comes.
No words need to be spoken.
No words need to be spoken. I mean, everybody. It don't matter if we got
Right.
two of our other buddies. You know, they know. It's just everybody senses it. Everybody senses this. Everybody's like, here he comes. You know, it's a freaking challenge. We're going down there, and we're all out there trying to see who can catch the biggest bass. Of course.
That's awesome.
And that's like for us at Blitz TV. That's kind of our whole thing. We're all competitors in everything that we do. And I think for Trent, you know, from the outside looking in, he's just that. He's an athlete. He's a competitor. Whether it's playing chess to a fishing derby in the backyard.
It's in his blood.
Absolutely.
That's what we do at Blitz TV.
Awesome.
And from the gridiron to the woods.
Yep. Now, Trent, would you say that you're pursuing two dreams at the same time? You came out of college and you went into the NFL. That's one dream of yours. The other one is to produce and participate in a television show about hunting and be a conservationist.
You know, like I said, it's just, you know, when we first started Blitz TV, you know, Richie and Matt Hiatt and then Kyle Boris, there was four of us, you know, and that's the guys we started this whole thing up with. You know, we started out with DVDs first, you know what I'm saying? Filming with just us, you know.
Yeah.
We kind of looked up to other TV shows around us, you know. I can name out a lot of TV shows, you know, on ESPN and you know, you got the Backwoods TV, and we looked up to them people, you know. We're like, man, we hunt in the same area because we see the same big deer. It was like, you know, and one day, you know, I came home my first year NFL. I came home, and usually when I come home, we all get together, and we sit at a table eating Domino's pizza, and it was like, man, it's about that time. Remember Kyle says about that time, and when I heard about that time, I heard everybody just freeze and stop and look. And I just looked at everybody like this, like, oh no. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I was fortunate enough to be blessed to make it to the NFL, and you know, I was like, you know, I'll go out there, and we went out and bought cameras for each one of my buddies. We went and bought cameras, and we were at it. And the next year, you know, he just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we was like, no, you know, we did this for fun. This was just out there. We was out there just for, you know, for giggles, you know, laughs and giggles,
having a good time,
having a good time, you know, and it's got bigger, and you know, it was like, you know what, we're just gonna keep pushing this, you know. We see a lot of opportunities it could bring to, you know, small town guys like us, and you know, and ever since then, you know, we got Blitz TV on NBC Sports on national television. You know, we're in front of 80 million viewers. You know, and then now we're on Destination America with Discovery Channel as well. So we're on both networks now, and it's big now, and we're enjoying it. You know, we've met a lot of friends over the the course of our path, and like I said, Blitz TV is a big family, man, and we just want people to relate to us, and we want to be educational as well, and especially one of our big targets is just the Midwest to the East Coast, because you don't see too much hunting, with the Midwest to the East Coast, because how hard hunting is there, because it's populated with a lot of hunters. There's a lot of hunters here. They say this is the hunting mecca. I mean, this is the hunting capital, because this is the population of hunters here.
Right.
And, it's like I said, it's where we want to show that, you can harvest good trophy bucks in high pressure places. And that's one of our biggest, I think it's one of our biggest attributes.
I know it's really good when you start out and you say you're a conservationist along with hunters. And that means a lot to not only local farmers, local hunters, and people watching your show. When you say that, that means that hits home, because everybody's trying to grow big deer. And if you don't have your conservation right, headed in the right direction, and got the right mindset for that, you can't do it. You cannot do it, and you're setting yourself up for bad situations in the future with a small herd, a lot of deer, and you don't have the mature whitetail that you're looking for.
Yeah, and it's not about, I tell people, I'm not, when I say, trying to go out there and kill trophy whitetail, I mean to go out there and harvest a mature animal.
Correct.
At a mature age. It's not about how big is, I've seen deer at mature age and right at a mature age and not have a big rack, and I've harvested, I end up taking them.
Right. But that boils down to you let your herd grow to a mature age. You harvest no matter what, as long as it's mature.
Yeah.
And that's conservation at its best.
And there's tips I give people. The tips as far as if I've had tips to give people far in knowing that the animal's mature, look at their belly, look how the slope of their belly, and look at if they have a Roman nose, how the size of their, from their eyes to their nose, and you can tell how blocky it is, and it's just those are two things that you can kind of tell, and you can just tell by by the color of his body. He got all gray. Gray in the face, and there's a lot of tell times, but like I said, it takes experience in the woods, and that's what it takes,
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How did you guys come up with the name Blitz TV? I mean, it's kind of obvious in a sense because of the relationship to football. How did you come up with it? You sat down one day, and then what?
Well, back to that night eating the Domino's pizzas, Trent so vividly remembers. We started going to the drawing board, and it was more or less just throwing some different names around for not necessarily a TV show name, but a production company name.
Right.
And that's what we're gearing up towards. Soon offering a full line of anything, production wise, whether it be graphic design, website design, weddings eventually. We want this thing to keep growing, and we've been in the business for 6 or 7 years now. TV, going on our 5th season now.
Wow.
But in the whole big picture, we're still newer faces to the whole scene, and I think things are heading in the right direction. But so we figured we would allow Trent to have his name in the name of the production company, and it sounded catchy, Cole Outdoor Productions.
Gotcha.
And that was kind of what we started on. And like he said, we came out with the DVD after our first season and thought, hey, this is possible. And we just kept growing our crew. Now we're running with about 20 guys all over New Jersey, Ohio, Indiana, and just good group of guys. Like I said, all athletes, all competitors, and all aiming for the same goal. So as we made it a little further into this whole process, decided that we wanted to make it onto national television. So we signed with the Pursuit Channel, and they did a great job for us getting us, our name out there. And we were airing with them for 3 seasons. Had a good run there, and we were given an opportunity, and we decided to go a different route, but trying to incorporate the football theme into hunting.
Right.
So we're throwing all these names around and just looking, at what these words mean. And Trent he's been in the trenches on the gridiron.
Right.
And he is what I would call a sack artist. And it's just determined football. People like the blitz is on,
Oh yeah. No, I
Act
love
of
the blitz.
fury. And
I wish they blitz every down.
I love watching the blitz happen.
Blitz is the best.
so there it was. Blitz TV came about, and
Awesome.
it was a household name now.
So you developed the Blitz TV. Where do you want to take it from here?
I think the direction it's heading, just growing our fan base, getting our name out there, and just ultimately airing on several networks and just getting our faces really out there. Keeping the guys that we have. We want to, we're a family as well. Mm-hmm. And as Trent was talking about, and that's who we want to go with all the way.
How many guys do you have in your crew now?
We have about 20 guys.
Still 20. Okay.
With a core group of 7 of us.
Yep.
That are the bread and butter guys each and every year.
So these are your pro staffers, so to speak.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you tell us who they are?
We got Mike Moore. He's head of our sales, and he's our pro staff advisor. So he's kind of taking care of making sure that our guys are finding out what they need to know, knowing deadlines. Organizing any meetings we have to have with them, because you can imagine you start getting that many guys trying to keep things organized can be a little crazy. We got Brett Yates, also representing New Jersey. We have Doug Crabtree, Jeffrey Schwein out of Ohio. We've got Josh Atkinson. We have Trent and myself.
It's hard to come up with all 20 names right now, though. You're doing a good job, though.
And I say my family, but you put me on the spot,
No, I hear you. So they're all somehow, they're all in hunting, first of all, but they're somehow connected to football as well?
They're actually a group of guys that we hand selected in the industry that, Trent and I kind of looked at with a heavy eye and kind of have watched what they've done in their past and, just talked with them. And I call myself a pretty good judge of character. And, when you talk with someone, you know.
Sure.
And they have an eye for it. And that's what, in this industry, is what it takes.
Gotcha.
It's not about just going out and ultimately harvesting a mature animal. It's doing it with a camera and an extra guy in a tree. And
that's a whole element of
it is.
difficulty that you don't have.
And that's
normally
that's a whole nother day
art
getting into
to
that.
There's
There's an art
to it.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, you got on top of that, you got to be you're managing, and you're managing, and also and having a camera, but you got to be worried about setting up as having a cameraman as well on the tree as well. So
right.
the game changes for you.
Yeah.
It's not like you hunt by yourself no more.
Right.
You got to remember, you got extra scent in the air, you know what I'm saying? And you got cameras and all that stuff, and you got to put yourself in the right position, and it takes, you got to plan very well, and that's why you got to do everything in the off season and make sure when the moment of truth comes, you're ready, so.
Right. Now, Trent, you must have an extremely busy schedule being in the NFL. You're training all week, preparing for the next big game. You have the big game on Sunday or whatever day it's scheduled for, and then it's back to work again. So when do you get time to come back? Because the season runs right through the hunting season.
It varies. You got Sunday night games, you got Thursday night games, you got Monday night games. It all depends. And usually I get 2 or 3 days to hunt. Weeks. Sometimes some weeks I don't get a chance to hunt, but at the end of the year I manage to be able to be successful and harvest, because it's what I do in the off season. It's how I do it. It's how I manage, And like I said, that's why I stress to people, they want to be very successful. They got to put in the work, what it takes, to, and be careful about how they approach their areas, and one of the biggest things I I love to stress to people is human pressure. That's the biggest, the biggest key to the things. And also, with people who have a lot of human pressure. You know, if you can find the area where you think people won't go,
Yeah.
you know, with that people won't go, well, you can be successful in the area as long as you don't go in there and don't let what you going, whatever you're going in to harvest, don't let them catch wind, don't let that buck catch wind of you.
Right.
You know, because once she catch wind of you, well, that's when the game starts. You know, you don't want to get involved in the game, cat and mouse game with the buck, because that's when it's going to be.
Right.
You know, it could be hard for you, and you might end up the season without anything. You know, so what I do is, like, when we approach our areas, you know, I'm always, like, if I don't have time to hunt during the season, during that week, I go out and I scout after practice.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Right after practice, I go straight to go scout. I keep binoculars in my truck. I go straight to the field because, you know, the deer are already out by the time I get out of practice. So
right.
I'm watching. I go check every field or check every farm, and I'm checking them, and I know where my deer flow is coming out. I know the concentration of my deer. And then, you know, I try to, whenever I get time, I try to go out there and set a stand, or like I said, I got, you know, if Brett Yates or Mike Moore's around, you know, they got good schedules.
Yeah.
They'll go out, they know, and I say, hey, I seen this over here, you know, and I'm like, they'll go out and set a stand. You know, if I can't do it, I'm like, hey, I can't go stand. They'll go during lunchtime and set up a tree stand during lunchtime.
Awesome.
After lunchtime, you know, and we'll go out there and try to take a crack at it. And there's times like when I'm off in my off time and they're at work, well, I go out there and try to help, you know, try to go out there and run trail cameras and check tree stands and stuff, because they're at work when I'm on my off time. Right. You know, so it's a team effort. You know, when you got a group of guys, you can be very successful because you got three knowledgeable guys with you, and you getting three different opinions and about different situations, and it can be very successful for you. You know.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And you know, the majority of the people listening to this, me, Dusty, Richie, we've all got jobs, and none of us hunt professionally. We're doing it and growing our audience and that kind of thing, but everybody's got a busy schedule. You still got to find time to put in the extra effort to hunt and make sure that those harvests are there when you want to, and that the land that you're going to hunt is ready to go. Yeah. So it's I understand it's a passion, and you want to fill that. You know, something you always want to go back to. Dusty and I were just talking about it today. Like, you know, when you're just driving around, you're glassing fields, you're looking around. You might
gotta be.
Yeah. No matter what, you just kind of, it's a habit.
Yeah, this is like I said, this is part of my life. You know, the hunting and the filming. This is part of my life. You know, it's God, family, and, you know, and hunting. You know, and that's what it is. I mean,
it's awesome.
Like I said,
that's awesome.
Everybody can relate to that. You know, that's the good part. Everybody can relate to family, God, and hunting. Everybody can relate to that.
Yep.
And we've got good families.
That's awesome.
We've got everyone on our team has understanding families, allowing the long hours and the sleepless nights. You know, when someone's on a big deer, and just very fortunate to have the people in our lives that we do.
yeah.
When does the next season of Blitz TV come out?
We're going to be airing, like I said, for our 5th season, starting third and fourth quarter of this year. So it'll be late in July there.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, wow.
Airing on NBC Sports.
This is the season you just hunted will be airing.
Yes, sir.
In July.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic. Excellent. And what any surprises or things you can share with us a little bit about what to expect?
Well, we did have, as a whole, we had a really good year, and we put down some great big deer. Well, I'll tell you what, you're just going to have to tune in. I will say, Trent and I just finished up hunting season this year in north central Texas, up at River Bluff Lodge. Had a week-long trip up there. We actually had one-way tickets, so we weren't for sure exactly how long we were going to be.
Right.
But fortunately, this place is just rock solid, and it's an outfit you need to check out. It's huge. You know, it's a working cattle ranch, all low fence, and it's just something that Trent and I, it's getting back to your roots, really. We took our night muzzleloaders this year.
Oh, yeah.
And we were going to do it from the ground, and that's something him and I, it's change of pace.
Right.
You know, being in the Midwest.
Ground and pound.
Oh, man.
That's unbelievable.
So you get out there and you do the scout work with the binos. You find the spots you want to be in. Well, okay, there's not the best trees. You're dealing with mesquite.
Right.
And just love hunting Texas.
Mesquite, yes, that's something that I only, I smoke my venison with. I don't have that. I don't even know what mesquite is.
Right.
So, I know it smells good and it tastes good. But
our souls saw a lot of mesquite bush this last week.
Yeah, we have. But that was a great hunt, man.
That's awesome.
And that's where we just came from. We just actually came
last week.
Yeah, last week. We just came from last week because the season ends here, but we have management tags. So you get the management tags, and you got to go out there. And like I said, we're big into management and on that place, and we help with the management there, and we did our part. As conservationists, we did our part. We went there and did what we were supposed to do.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Very cool.
Guys, that's going to wrap us up so you can get back to the fans here at the Great American Outdoor Show.
And wish you well on the show. We'll check in with you again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Check them out, Blitz TV. You guys are on Facebook?
Oh, yeah.
Twitter?
Yep, check us out, man, because like I said, Richie said, hey, you just got to tune in to the show because I tell you this, there's going to be some people surprised about how big the deer we're taking out of the state of New Jersey.
Awesome.
And also, there's some giants you got to see that we took out of Ohio. So it's gonna be a good showing for this third and fourth quarter. And like I said, just check us out at cooloutdoors.com on our website and Facebook at the Blitz TV show, and you can interact with the guys there and also hook up personally with some of the guys with their own personal Twitter and Facebook as well. That's not on Blitz TV Facebook, but you can interact with some of the personal guys and ask them questions.
So if we go to Facebook, go to Twitter. You guys let's say on Twitter, for example, you're following us, all of your pro staffers.
Yes.
We could follow back.
Yes.
Yep. Awesome.
Keep up to date with what everybody's
doing.
Doing, where they're at, what type of game they're after, and if they're being successful in the days that maybe they're not so successful.
Yeah. So it's good.
That's keeping it real.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Keeping it real.
Yep. Excellent, guys. Thanks for joining us on the Big Buck Registry podcast, and we'll see you again soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Cool.
Thank you for having us.
How can our listeners and our fans find you?
Facebook.com/Chubby Tines Outdoors. Jay, how can they get in touch with the Big Buck Registry?
All right. It's Facebook.com/Big Buck Registry. Our website is bigbuckregistry.com. Our phone number is 724-613-2825. You can send a text picture there if you have a big buck. You can always submit a photo on Facebook. You can email us at j@bigbuckregistry.com if you'd like to be on the show. If you'd like to tell your story about a big deer you shot, don't worry about it. We'll walk you through it. We're getting very good at this. Don't be nervous. Just sit back, relax, just like you're on the porch at deer camp, and we'll walk you through every little step of your hunt and recreate it for our listeners. Other than that, Dusty, I think that's a wrap, man.
Yeah, what a great experience at the Harrisburg, Pennsylvania Great American Outdoor Show. Jay, been great. What a great show. What a great experience. Pleasure to meet you. And folks, we'll see you next week. And I'm Dusty Phillips.
I'm Jay Scott, and this is the Big Buck Registry's Big Buck Podcast. See you next week.
Can't wait.